There we are. Oops, sorry, we got double audio. Okay, oh my gosh. We're gonna try this. I feel like a dead body. And I have no water to drink. We're doing good. We're doing good, guys. We're doing alright today. We're gonna make it work. As you can see, we've shifted to a Arthur cam. And he is super asleep today. Arthur's not impressed with any of your comments. So let's see if the chat's working today. I would assume it is. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but it's probably not going to be. I don't know. Restream has turned into a hot pile of garbage. I'm so glad it costs 20 bucks a month. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. I'm glad my money's going somewhere good. But today we're going to be messing around with this Eclipse Sisterhood mini. Actually, let me move some of this stuff out of the way. Hold on. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're doing okay. No, we're doing okay. There we go. All right. Constantly moving things with the setup. Yeah, it looks like the chat's not working at all. Cool. Thanks so much, Restream. Money well spent. Gotta love it. Okay, so I have no idea what I want to do with this. We'll start off dark. Relatively. See. Let me see if I can relaunch the chat real quick too, I guess. I don't know, because it's dumb as hell. But let's see. So, I mean, it says Facebook is initialized, so cool. Thanks so much. Oh, it's so annoying. Okay, we're gonna copy this. Okay, and then I'm gonna refresh it on this dumb thing right here. Because, you know, the painting part's the easy part. It's all the stupid stuff that takes up your time. So I believe this is the shot right here. I'm gonna paste this like a true genius. Am I a smart boy or a dumb boy? We'll find out. Boom. Boom. Okay, so now it should be live. I was gonna say in the 405, but we're not there anymore. We are not there. All right, so yeah, whatever. We'll just, you know, start doing the thing. Oop, that is way too thin. That's better. I also, of course, moved my camera, so we're figuring life out today. Now she's got like a book going on. There's something on her hip. Her hood is also different, oddly, than the jacket. So that's a choice that was made, which is intriguing, of course. Yeah, look at you guys. You guys are trying to make the chat work. I appreciate it. According to Restream. Oh, wow. Now, we have some things going on. What is that just happened? My audio source just literally flipped. Is that what we're doing? Oh my gosh. You guys, there's a ghost in the computer today. Are we good? Jeez, man. Yeah, I wonder why that's happening though. I mean, Restream's not that great of a service, unfortunately. They're kind of not good, but pretty much the only one out there that works with everything at the same time, so oh well. Again, 20 bucks a month for something that doesn't work, so shout out to Restream. So you can see I'm just utilizing the zenithal underneath, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Really not too concerned overly, but just taking advantage of that to get some automatic color work. Pretty simple. These sculpts I just punched the microphone. These sculpts are really nice compared to everything else. So let me see. Let me see what we got going on over here. All right. What's up, Jamie? What's up, John? What's up, Brian? What's up, Sarah? What's up, JB? What's up, Brandon? Wow, we got some people in here today. If you're watching, make sure to drop a hello in the chat. If you have any questions, anything like that, feel free to shoot them my way, and I'll try and help you out as per usual. I have been feeling absolutely terrible all week from sinus stuff. So, you know, really, really fun times out here. Or sinus allergies, you get the deal. I think what it is though is there's like a tropical storm on the way, so I'm assuming that's what's happening. Is that it's causing some extra pollen blooms or whatever. So shade-wise, we're dealing with a purple, so I'm assuming we're gonna want to go in a deeper, darker, more criminal link connection because she is a deeper, darker criminal link. Ooh, what if we did freehand on the top? Like she's like a babushka wearing a scarf. That'd be pretty cool. So what I'm going to do to darken it all up, I'm going to take some of this Nightshade Perp, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of Strong Tone from Army Painter to create a Nightshade Perp Strong Tone mix. Of course, you know, we don't have a word for it. We're just doing it. So I decided to have FedEx try and print something else for me today. And if you were going to bet money on whether or not it was correct, how do you think it went for me? At this point, it's just so laughable. I found a mom and pop print shop though. So what's crazy is I called another print store and I'm like, hey, do you have this? You know, this type of paper? They're like, yes, we do. And I'm like, all right, well, could I get a quote on, let's say, just like 10 sheets? And they're like, yeah, that'll be $18. And I'm like, what? Because at FedEx, 10 sheets would cost you like 11, right? So that's not really that cool. So then I call another one, and they're like, yeah, that's like that's about 20 to 25 sheets, depending on what it is you need. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. So I'm gonna have to figure out exactly what the new plan is. But if I had to guess, I'll be doing like all the palettes and stuff for the Patreon program ahead of time. And then I'll just have them ready to go like in 5-month big old chunks. But remember, this weekend we have another one of the Patreon classes. I don't remember what it is this week. It's something cool. Oh, this week is Saturation for Emphasis. So that's going to be really cool. We're going to be working on this big, outrageous-looking alligator boy who was on the table all week. Now he's gone, so I have moved him. But anyway, one of the Bones Black alligator monster dudes. So that's going to be really cool. Again, we've already had 2 classes this month. Typically, we only have 2. But for anybody that signs up for Patreon, you're getting 4 this month exclusively. So it doesn't matter, you know, if you're at the $5 tier, if you're at the whatever, whatever you sign up for, you're getting access to everything this month as we sort of relaunch back onto Patreon off of Member Space, which is what we were using previously. So but definitely check that out. You can go to minipainting.studio, check out the Patreon link there, or you can just go to patreon.com/minipaintingstudio and all that good stuff. Tomorrow, I am recording episode 1 of the Paintcast with Shoshi from Shoshi's Minis. We're going to be launching that out next month, so the first episode will come out. I'm not sure how I want to do it. You guys can let me know if you want it to be a weekly thing, a bi-weekly thing, a monthly thing. Whatever the case is, we'll be able to kind of make it work. So whatever you're feeling in regards to that, do let me know, and we'll sort of play around with it. But we've got all kinds of people. We've got Shoshi, Michael Proctor, David Cecil, Dave Colson. Who else do I have on the list? Gregory Zaniga, David Higgins. Who else was on that list? I guess I could ask Todd too, Fahrenholtz. I'm sure he would love to do that. Because I still have room for like 2, I believe. Who else did I ask? I don't know. I asked a lot of people. But Oh yeah, of course, Rex Grange. I'm trying to think all the painters that I asked. But if you have any suggestions for other painters that you would like to hear on the podcast, do let me know. It is a podcast for you to listen to while you are painting, hanging out, whatever, or if you just enjoy hearing artists talk about what they like about art. That's sort of the whole idea of the podcast itself. It should be pretty cool, I'm assuming, you know. But yeah, because I mean, that's the whole thing. I've heard painting podcasts before where they just like talk about painting, but this is more of like an interview style situation, and we'll see where we go from there. I'm assuming the second season will be more talking to people that are possibly like manufacturers or just creators in the space, companies, people that run certain companies, whatever. We'll figure out what it is. You know, I might be able to get like Ed or maybe okay, so I just saw JV's comment and you're such a dirtbag. But so yeah, you know, like maybe a Ron Hawkins or somebody, maybe a John Overton, you know, people that do things in relation to the miniature hobby and whatever. So should be pretty cool. Let me share this out really quick. JV, you're such a troll. How am I feeling today? Asked JV. Well, we're trying to survive. Hold on, I'm sharing this out. Brandon, you're gonna be trying out the cloth video. Well, good luck. I know some people have had some good luck with that. Some other people have had some challenges with it. But either way, it's definitely something worth trying. I know a lot of people were struggling with the realistic implied fur class that we did last week. Is that one still on my desk? No, it's not. Okay. But we did a class on realistic implied fur, and I know that a lot of people were like, whoa, what is going on with this? Because it was painted completely in a very, very like different way. Oh wow, I realized my palette was totally missing. But I had fun with that one. I really liked the way that mini turned out. We worked on the Spirit Beast, Bones Black from Reaper, which on its own is such a strange sculpt, to be honest. Very, very weird. It's like the head of a bear or a dog on top of the body of like a really furry elk or something, and then it has big wings and then a tail that's also sort of like peacock feathers that then turn into like a weird ethereal, I don't even know, man. Really weird sculpt, but it was a great example for that class. It was really challenging as well for some people, so that's always the idea. Yeah, this week is just really, really intense. I've been dealing with the allergy stuff and beyond the allergy stuff and all of that. Then, of course, I've got all the people that won the private coaching sessions, and so all of those are like, you know, those are all going to be stacked up throughout the week as well, even into next week, which is really bad for me, of course. I'm so stupid. I didn't really think about like the negative aspects of doing that, and it's definitely not what I needed to be doing right now, but it is what it is. Hopefully everybody will sort of get something out of it and have a good time, but got to get that over with. And then Saturday, there's an Oktoberfest pool party here, which is, we'll see how that goes, because I have so much stuff everywhere because I'm in the middle of a bunch of projects, so that'll be a nightmare, especially if I'm trying to work. Because I have a class, and then I have like an hour break in between, and then that's supposed to start. I mean, this is just not enough time in the day to do anything. So you can see the purple is drying. It is ready for us to begin almost to start working on top. I'm thinking we're going to be doing like drow nipple pink. Things like that. Dave, what? Dave, you big goof. Dave Taylor. Oh, wait, Dave Taylor's somebody that I was supposed to ask as well. I forgot. I should ask him since he's literally talking to me. Who is this? I don't know who you are. Okay. Hearing from sculptors is the plan. Okay, so I actually want to mix. So we're going to do drow nipple pink. Very, very exclusive color. Mostly because it's not that saturated, and then we'll be able to highlight it up, and then I'll be able to glaze on top. to change the hue, so to speak. So do feel free to share this out. That would be greatly appreciated. I only shared this to the Freeblade group, so if you have somewhere else where you feel that it would be appropriate to share, I would greatly appreciate you. You're great. You're a great person. I hope you're having a great week. Oh, gosh. It's so funny, too, because I'm so behind on all my projects, and then, of course, I get sick. So it's like... You know, at this point, my spirit is so broken that it's kind of like, you know what, I just can't do any, like, if someone gets upset at me at this point, what am I supposed to do? Literally, what am I supposed to do? There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. Except just work. So, oh well. You can see that Drow Nipple Pink overlaying perfectly right there. Actually, that's like the perfect color to highlight this with. It's shocking how well this is working. This is I don't remember the name. It's like a Night Whisper or something, I believe, is the name of it. Really cool sculpt, though. I mean, you could paint this all kinds of different ways. You could take it, you know, obviously a very fantasy approach. You could take it... Is that Flash right there? Is that Flash? Uh-oh. What are you doing on my miniature? Hey, shout out to John. Check it out. I got my my paint poker here, the acid dipped. I think this is a piece of Flash on the mini. I will say, unfortunately, that my Eclipse Sisterhood minis were not as, okay, that's just there. All right, we'll paint over it. They were definitely a little bit rougher than the Chakram minis that I worked on previously. There were some unfortunately rough mold placement decisions made. Like going right down the face on a few of them, and one of them had a bit of a mold slip, and I was gonna feel like a dick to ask for a replacement, so I just sort of tried to make it work. But so unfortunately, that miniature is just gonna have an ugly face because of where that placement was. But otherwise, I mean, you know, they're really great sculpts. But so out of the 6 miniatures, 2 of them had molds that went right through their head, like right down the face on the either left or right hand side of the face. And then one of them was perfectly easy to fix, no big deal, whatever. But then another one, like, there was no fixing it. But like I said, I didn't want to ask for a replacement, so I don't care enough. I'm just going to use these to play. I wanted them to be perfect so that I could paint them well, but we'll make do with what we got. Because, yeah, the Chakra minis, they were like, you couldn't really see the mold lines. The only one that sort of gave me an issue was the little dinosaur dude. Like the little one that's sort of like a dog that I was painting. But I was able to just, file that down and ignore it relatively simply. But it is what it is when you deal with metal casting. You obviously deal with molds, and molds have to be made a certain way, and then eventually they have to be remade, and all that good stuff. But in general, I'm still very impressed with the quality of everything. Got some terrain in the works so I can play. Still haven't bought the full dice pack, but I feel like I don't need the full dice pack, so at least for now. But I do have some fun dice to use and all that good stuff, so hopefully I'll be able to get a game in eventually. I mean, I would like to get one in soon, but we'll just have to see how everything goes. So but I really like the way this color is working out. It's applying a little bit differently than I was expecting in terms of the saturation, but I feel like we're gonna be able to make it work really, really well. So I'm just gonna paint over this little bit of wash that was still in there. Tomorrow I've got, or I think it's tomorrow, but I have some samples of the, I've got some samples of the clothing stuff coming in, so that's really cool. We'll see how that goes. I know one's Friday, then the other, I think a hat is coming in tomorrow. They ship everything from like random places, which is kind of funny, so. Give me just a second, I'm sharing this out. Of course, since I haven't streamed in a few days, Facebook is punishing me here. And let me do one more. Arthur's so asleep. This little paw right here. Meow. We got a dead body. Oh, can I have that? Okay, maybe not. He's not gonna let me have it. Share this out. Pick a random group here, let's see. Okay, cool. Whatever, so, I'm thinking maybe I'll use like a flesh tone as the highlight here. Then we can glaze. So, we may have to do some little finagling here. Come on. Hold on. I'm adjusting the camera and the light at the same time. They're like interconnected. Okay. All right, I think we got it. All right, so now I'm using a flesh tone here. Oh, I forgot to, boom, okay. Trying not to hat club it for you. Oh, I should just use a smaller brush. I don't know why I'm fighting with that right now. There we go. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I don't know what the deal is with the camera today. Like, it should be fine, but I moved a lot of my setup over the weekend to try and make it easier to paint, but of course, it's always the best intentions cause the most problems. So the idea, of course, is that we're taking this and then we're using a desaturated color on the highlighting. So that way I can go back in and glaze on top with a more saturated color at the end to help sort of keep the variance. I'm just sort of picking out some texture there to try and make that look a little bit different. Let's get the sides here. Easy sculpt to make look good. That's for sure. It's also nice not to be, you know, working on like a female mini that just looks stupid, like half naked for no reason. It's always so disappointing to see, like, there's a Kickstarter right now from a sculptor that's made some really cool sculpts in the past, but it's literally a, like, sex slave. It's like a woman with a chain around her neck and she's, like, naked. It's like, wow, that's... Okay. Really, really cool. You're a really cool person for that one. Well done. Really contributing a lot to the hobby. That's like the stuff like that, and then you already know how I feel about painting blood, right? Like things like that are so base level to me. It's like, wow, okay, didn't even want to try and be original here, be creative, come up with something cool. Nope. Okay. Better luck next time then. Covered in gold. Won't know what you're missing till I go. So I'm thinking, I mean, I don't really want to do the inside the same color, but for now we'll pretend that it will be. Maybe we'll do the ribbing on it a little bit different, but for now I think we'll just keep it all the same. Got some Lord of the Rings stuff coming up on stream here relatively soon. That'll be fun. Big old Treebeard mini. Let's see. I had somebody message me for some business advice for their commission deal. I guess they're trying to do, and they just came off so arrogant and rude. It was amazing. Long story short, I was like, actually, I'm just not gonna help you. Like, good luck. Good luck, dude. I'm done. They have like, you know, I was asking them some questions. They're like, I've only been painting for 3 months, but I want to do this. And I'm like, all right, well, you know, I can't really help you because what am I supposed to tell somebody that hasn't been painting a long time, right? Like, you still have so much to figure out to make it possible. Like, I don't know how I can help you. But they said that I was really rude and that I was gatekeeping by not telling them how to run a business, which is clever, I guess, to try and shame me into helping you. But no way in hell. I'll be the first person to tell anybody, like, no. My job is not to help you make money. Sorry. But yeah, that's the first time I've been called a gatekeeper, so I guess I'm getting popular. I guess I've made it. I've been called a gatekeeper, guys. Or what's funny too, sometimes people will see what I write like in responses when someone's like, what's one thing you wish you'd known before you started doing commission work? And I'm like, just don't start doing it. It'll make you hate painting, da 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 da. And they're like, give me a real answer. And I'm like, do you not think that's real? It's definitely real. Repaint the treant that I did at Origins in the class. Who taught that class? Was it anybody that we know? Was it a painter? Next color that I'm gonna apply is gonna be actually like a beige, like a nice warm beige. I feel like that will pop once I apply like a purple glaze on top. Or we could shift it to blue. Actually, we could use phthalo blue on top of this. Ooh, I think that is the move. I take it all back. Now we got a plan. Okay, so I think that actually is what I want to do next. So, where's that crazy pink? Oh, I don't want to pull the thing out of the thing. Where are you, dude? Okay, so we're gonna try and use this as the highlight. Oh, look what's, how funny. Look at how, look, the chat's actually working, guys. Only YouTube. God, Restream, you're so trash. Why do you cost this much money? You should be like $4 a month for your service. Oop, I almost dropped my paint poker in my crotch. Actually, I did. Pray for me. Where is it? Oh my god, dangerous, dangerous. Yeah, so these were cool. They were given to the artists at ReaperCon this year. It's to unclog your paint. You can see it's all pressed in there. Really, really cool. Nice little tool that I'm sure I will lose at some point, and if I do, I'll be so sad. But I do know the guy that could possibly make another if I need one. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if I'm lucky. Actually, I'm gonna go to a restoration brush currently. I feel like the brush I'm using for what I want to do next is a little bit too big. So we'll just go ahead and plop that off. Buy my D&D loot crate? Well, there's only one person I know that does that. Wait, they didn't call it a masterclass, did they? I faintly remember at Origins they were calling those master classes, if I'm mistaken, which is like so funny. So funny. Actually, it's disrespectful if that's really what they called it, but that's cool. So you can see I'm applying this really, really pink tone. What it's gonna do underneath the color we apply on top is add a lot of hue variance without us really doing much work afterwards. That at least is the theory. Gently push that in there. Perfect, perfect. I'm digging it. Oh, you know what? I have half the mind to do magenta. I've been using too much magenta lately, actually. I should do that. I feel like it's ruining me as a person. Always using magenta. I gotta quit that. But that's how it goes. That'll be one of the questions that I sort of ask the interviewees for the paint cast is stuff like, do you go through color modes and little repetitions. Even though I'm pretty sure that's true. Sort of like how a lot of people that end up like when they first start doing portraits or any type of, when they're drawing or painting people, a lot of the time, and it takes a lot of work to break out of, you end up drawing or painting people that end up resembling you, regardless of what it is. I mean, it could be a woman, man, whatever. It's like, that kind of looks like you. Oh, he was a Twitch guy? Yeah, good luck. Good luck. What's crazy is I saw a guy on Twitch the other day who like literally had only been painting, it was like in their bio, had only been painting a little while, and they had spent thousands of dollars. like a few months, right? And they had spent thousands of dollars on a camera and like all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, damn, you went real deep real quick. All right, well, let's see what happens. But that's why I don't like Twitch, right? Because it makes people think that like that's what you have to do to, it's just weird. Very weird environment over there. So I think we're at a point to where we can do our overlay work, and I'd be interested to see how it turns out. Let's see, this is a little bit too bright. Okay. So, our option is either, yeah, I don't want to do the magenta. I feel like that's just a little bit too much. So, where's Phthalo? Where's the Phthalo Blues? Is this it right here? Whoops, sorry, I'm sure that sounded crazy. Here it is. So, we're going to overlay this. We're going to see if it looks trash. So, we'll see. Okay, so let's see how this goes. Let's see what this was. That's weird that it just told me about that. That's weird. All right. See? See how easy that was to make that really cool little transition? We'll see how this looks when it dries. But I think it should look really dope because we have that nice pink undertone. See, we'll put some right here. It's like magic. Da, 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 da. Look at all the work we didn't do. Do you like that song? That's my Look at All the Work We Didn't Do song. It's going to be coming out to Spotify, iTunes, and anywhere streaming music can be found relatively soon. Yep, I think we've found a winner, if I do say so myself. Cool part is we can then go back on top and push it further. Of course. Of course, which we should. Do our due diligence here of being real painters. So let's see. Start working up here on the shoulders and such. Alright, so now this makes me want to actually layer in a warmer shadow. So we'll see exactly how this looks once I finally sort of, let me see, I need way more of this blue out here for this pass across the back. Even surface tension, of course. I like this sculpt because she's got the dagger. Well, that ain't a dagger, that's a sword. She has the sword behind her back, which is pretty cool. We will have to do quite a bit of work back on top of this, though. But it'll all be such little areas that it shouldn't be, like, tedious. Or, well, it'll be tedious, but it shouldn't be, like, terrible. Okay, so let's see this right down here. I feel like I really blew that out of the water on that highlight, but it's okay. We'll just pretend, hey, that's the way it's supposed to be. Okay, just a little bit too pigmented. There we go. A wee bit too much. Wait, is Sarah watching? No. I was about to say, we need more clear paint, Sarah. Stat. Right now there's not enough. For the way that I paint, they are perfect. Alright, so let's back this out. Looks pretty good. All those highlights are baked in. I think it's working well in the front. So now what I'm wondering is if we should use... What to use? What to use? Maybe this? Maybe this and then a skin tone? Yes. Alright, so we're gonna try this out, this little dumb theory. This could be the dumbest theory of all time. If so, you're watching history in the making. But, let me see, so I wanna get this out here. Alright, so let's see what we got. Jesus, I slapped the camera. So I'm just pushing that teal with this aqua up into the highlight. Look at that. Look at that, it's so wonderful. Let's see, I'm using a brush that's way too big, but it's alright. Looks good to me. Let's see, alright, so we'll go on this side. Remember, if you have any questions, anything like that, feel free to drop them in the chat. The chat is messed up on screen today, but I can still see everything. If it is, for whatever reason, your first time watching, feel free to like the page. You'll be able to see everything else that I've got going on, even though it has been pretty quiet recently, just because I'm slammed. It's all right. Someday, eventually, I will be caught up, and life will be great. But until then, I'm just going to be an awful ball of anxiety. But it's okay. We will overcome our issues. Could be worse. I could be a flat earther, you know. Like, my problems I can actually solve. So I went into a coffee shop that's by where I live now. And I heard this guy, he was like talking pretty loud as I'm waiting, and I didn't really pay attention to what was being said until I like walked over to wait after I paid in like this little area where you just sort of wait for them to hand you your stuff, right? And he was trying to get investment in a flat earth competition. Now, as you can imagine, there were all kinds of really just super cute things that he was saying that are quotables for the rest of my life. But the thing that I liked the most that I heard him say, so this little investor guy is wearing a suit, and then the flat earth dude is like just dressed like an absolute, you know, flat earther. And so the guy's like, well, I don't think the dude knew that that's what this little meeting they were having was about. And like, he looked very perplexed. But so the flat earth guy was like, yeah, so the whole reason why we can't prove that the earth isn't round is because we can't accurately depict the way that it is. And so this guy's like, well, how are you supposed to depict the way that it is? And he goes, we need someone to invent a new dimension to display it properly. Not 2D, not 3D, but a way to show that it's flat. Oh my god, I was literally gonna, I mean, it was just so funny. But, you know, if you're having a bad day, just know that there are people out there literally trying to prove that the earth is flat, and you'll be okay. But yeah, when I was hearing that, I was like, I was sending messages to my roommate like, oh my god, dude, you will not believe what I'm listening to right now. And then he asked the guy, so then he said he needed $10,000, and so that would be the prize for whatever, and it was gonna be like a Facebook contest. So he was asking him for 10 grand to borrow the money, and then he was saying that they were gonna charge all these people like an entrance fee, and that's how they would make the money back. It was just, man, the things you hear at coffee shops. When I was in high school, we used to hang out at a Starbucks because there was nowhere else to go, and that was open past like 9. And so it was funny because you'd hear like the strangest things, like people breaking up with each other on the phone, or just like things that really shouldn't be going on in public, and you just overhear them because it's always so quiet. But never did I expect to hear a flat earther trying to get investment. Oh man. So you can see the aqua that we're applying over the sort of neutralized highlight that was the pink flesh tone underneath. The pink flesh tone, of course, allowed us to create a highlight that didn't look pastel when mixing with that purple we were using. Drow Nipple Pink already has a lot of white pigment in it, so it's only going to go pastel when highlighting, so that was sort of the plan of attack to make that look the best that it could. I'm not sure how bright I want to make this, but we're working. So let's back it out and look. Look at that color. It's beautiful. Beautiful blue. Oh my god, why is Facebook chat working now? Brian, what did you do? Oh god. Oh my god. So the US is 50% smaller than what we're told. Okay, that's nice. That's a good one. It's good research. My whole thing is like, so let's say, whatever. Let's say that there is this global conspiracy, right? Beyond the fact that they can't tell you like why everyone is propagating this conspiracy over and over for hundreds of years. What I like that none of these people really have an answer to is before the age of information, okay? Before information was easily shared, how did all of these people from all across the planet in different cultures, civilizations, etc., all come to the same conclusion? Right? Just think about that for a second. Do you like the Arthur cam? I have to pop up like, "Hey everybody!" But that's what always gets me is like, where is that happening? How are you missing that? So that's what cracks me up is that they're like, "Oh, it's a conspiracy," but it's not. Yeah, like I said, if you're having problems that you're trying to solve, just know you could be trying to prove that the Earth is flat. Then your problems don't seem as impossible. But, so what I wanted to say to that guy, since he was like saying that, so essentially he was like, unless we had a monetary incentive for people to take it seriously, then we'll never get the types of people that can do the correct type of research, which does make sense, I guess, right? Like, since there are no real legitimate scientists trying to prove that the Earth isn't round, maybe you need to pay a real legitimate scientist to prove that, I guess. But money isn't always the answer, because Bill Gates has been promising a certain amount of millions of dollars to whoever can invent a better condom, because he hates condoms. And that's still active. You can Google that right now. Bill Gates literally is like, I will pay, I forget how much money it is, but it's at least $1 to $2 million to anybody that can invent a better condom. And to this day, no one has. So sometimes money as an incentive doesn't necessarily fix the problem. But yeah, just think about that for a second with Bill Gates. That's so funny. Right now what I'm doing is I'm highlighting all these little ribbings in the fabrique. Pretty tedious, but I'm thinking it's turning out looking real short. Real good. Relatively easy work. More method than anything else, just sort of following the motions. Should be using a smaller brush, but I'm not. If I was using a restoration brush, it'd be a little bit easier. But oh well. Oh well. Well, what's really funny at the end of the day, like, man, some of the people that are like really behind that flat Earth stuff, they say that it's the Jews, of course. So they say like the secret cabal of Jewish people are like the ones keeping us thinking that the Earth is round, which is really entertaining. And then on the complete opposite spectrum, they say that it's actually Nazis in Antarctica, and that's why you can't fly to Antarctica, because there are Nazis there that run the New World Order. So, you know, it's the same idea as, I don't know if you guys, well, I'm sure you do, but all of the hysteria behind the Mayan calendar in 2012, right? Like, all of that was also full of absolute crazy people that at the end of the argument would be like, also, it's Jewish people's fault. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. Of course, yeah. Sorry for wasting your time on this one. But yeah, that made my week. I was like, you know what? I feel really sick right now. My allergies are terrible. I can't. My eyes won't focus. I have so much sinus pressure. but at least I'm not having this conversation. The employee too, the barista that made me my coffee, he was just like, he gave me this look like, dude, we both made eye contact, and I'm like, yeah, I got you. I hear what you're listening to, man. I'm sorry. Boom. Boom. Oh, sorry, Jan. That's weird. I didn't see your message before the other one started coming on the screen. So again, this is a Eclipse Sisterhood mini from DGS. These were not sent. These were the secondary selection for a free band that I decided to go with. They don't have any summoning ability or anything like that, but they are like very stealthy. So like this girl right here, this bad gal, she has like improved disguise. So if someone wants to actually target her, they have to make some kind of test roll or like some kind of like ability check or whatever under any other term to like figure out that she's an enemy, right? Which is really cool. And then on the opposite side, I have the Chakram, and the Chakram are who DGS sent to me, and they're pretty cool because when they deploy on the table, you can deploy. Oh my God, I punched the mic. You can deploy a 2 3-inch or 1 6-inch water feature. So pretty much like a circular template. I had some printed that just are like high res, like lake water or whatever, a pond from the top down. And then you can place those anywhere, and any model with amphibious, which not all of them have amphibious. It's kind of strategic which one you would want to use. They then get to infiltrate out of that terrain feature, so that you don't deploy them at the beginning of the game. You hold on to them, and then you let them pop up out of the water. Pew pew pew! Surprise surprise! So, but that's why I like this game, because it's less about what you buy, and it's more about like how you use your little duders, your hirelings, your heroes, all that. How you actually are using them in sort of like unison on the table to win whatever you're doing. If it's like a regular skirmish, if it's a scenario, whatever the case is, you have to figure out how to actually play your free band, and that to me is intriguing. Because on the opposite spectrum, obviously, you have games like Infinity, War Machine, Warhammer, pretty much any of those larger scale games. It really does come down to whatever you can buy dictates how well you do, pretty much. So with this game, you pretty much just expand more heroes and then hirelings, but you also have to have a reason to do that. So you need to be playing like an actual campaign against people, where you're continuing to grow your free band size and things like that. So, that's outside of you just doing little one-off missions and things like that. So, it's kind of like Cav, where it doesn't take much money to get into it. However, you can definitely end up spending a lot of money on it. But it's just sort of up to your own self-control, which, most miniature people or board game hobbyists obviously have self-control issues with the amount of things that we always buy. But if you start out with good intentions, I'm sure you can get good results. So another interesting thing I will hopefully be painting soon. My dad wants this John Wick miniature, so it's a big John Wick 3D print that looks really cool. So I need to talk to somebody about getting it done. I think Mark from Frozen Ninja is like still calibrating his new printer, but I may ask him what the cost would be. But I may have that. I might do it like 54 millimeter maybe, or maybe 60. Something a little bit bigger. But it's a beautiful sculpt, looks just like him. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that'll be cool, and it'll also bring like a whole new brand of weirdos to the stream. So shout out to them. I would have to figure out where to share it to where any of that crowd would come through. But all right, so let me see. I have to. Oh, have we been going for an hour already? We've been going for an hour, guys. How do I know? Because we blew through the whole album that we were listening to. So hold on, give me just a second, so that way we don't get shut down. I will hop off here though in a while. Everyone say hello to Arthur. He is currently dead, like literally dead. Look, he's like, leave me alone, bro. Oh my God, come on, come on. But I tried to give you guys an Arthur cam. Oh, he's alive. He's super hot too. He's like overheating over there. Arthur, are you alive? Oh, buddy. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. Okay, good night. Okay. Oh, wait, I forgot to... Sorry. I did all that just to forget what I was doing. There we go. Who gets the family discount? He's not paying me anything. He literally told me, like, he's not paying me anything. He just said, how much will it cost? And I'm like, all right, well, figure it out, dude. But I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. If my dad did my taxes, I'm not paying for that, so. Oh, well, yep. So, just remembered I need to get him some PayPal info. Speaking of taxes. Oh, God. Best part about being a sole proprietor is you should never owe money on your taxes. If you do, you have done something terribly wrong. So terribly wrong. I bought so much equipment last year. I mean, man. Wow. Alright, so... Gently highlighting here. Did we go across the back yet? Yeah, we did. Okay. Now the question is whether or not we go back on top of this with another color and then glaze it again. Now, you know, a wiser person would be like, nah, dude, you don't need to do that. But if you know me at all, you know I'm a big old fat dummy. And if that's the case, then you know that I would probably attempt to highlight it again and ruin it. So, we may choose to do that still. It just, you know, depends on where we're at in life. Here in a few. Oh, you know what I didn't show off? I also worked on the giant snake that's a part of the Chakram faction, but only the people that are in Painting Happy Little Minis and then the people that are in the DGS Games Freeblade player group saw those images. So, if you're in either of those groups, shout out to those groups. Also, shout out to the mini painting group, straight up. So that's the group that I've thrown together. Really, really cool things are going down in there. You know, there was a guy that was saying how he, you know, he couldn't really afford miniatures currently, and so he was like making do with priming up like a Halloween decoration to try and paint that, and yada, yada, yada. And then next thing you know now, there are like 5 people in that thread sending him miniatures and paint and all kinds of stuff like that. So I feel like that's what it's all about. Giving back to people when you can. You know, a lot of people end up buying miniatures that they'll never touch again anyway, so being able to sort of pay it forward like that to let somebody enjoy the hobby that may not be able to afford it as much currently or whatever the case is so cool. But you can also check that out. I don't know how you find it, I mean, through like the page, but you can just type in on Facebook at the top, mini painting group, and you'll see one called mini painting group. It's so hard to find, but still growing. People keep joining the group. There's not a lot of action in it. I mean, like sometimes, like we'll have little bursts of action, but since there's no, so it's funny. Now this is what I've realized. So because, what's funny is because I don't allow people to cross-post from business pages, and because there's no self-advertising or promotion, not as many posts happen in that group. because what you'll realize in a lot of these miniature painting groups, that's like literally the only reason why people are in them. And so the second it's not allowed, and people are like, oh, I don't even want to join. Or like I had, you know, someone will join, they break the rules, they do, you know, self-promotion or whatever, they cross-post, and then as soon as I'm like, hey, that's against the rules, they leave. They just immediately leave. And it's like, oh, okay, cool, bye. Because that's not the environment I want. I want the environment where people are like, oh, you wanna start painting minis? Well, we'll send you stuff. Like that to me is what those groups should be. Not, you know, hey, here's my Patreon link at the bottom of this image. But, of course, speaking of Patreon, this weekend we have class number 3 of this month. Go to minipainting.studio, click the Patreon link at the top, or go to patreon.com/minipaintingstudio, and you can see all the content you get for starting off at even $5 a month. If you're at the $5 tier this month, you get 4 classes. So it's always a lot of really good value. I hope you enjoyed that segue, and thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But yeah, that's what I don't want in that painting group. So now on my own time, obviously that's what we're doing. Actually, the feedback that we got from the last class, which I thought was really good. So someone said their biggest takeaway. I had made a comment sort of talking about when you're trying to paint or do anything like that. So someone that's more of like a craft painter or like a you know, someone that isn't necessarily looking at painting in a like artistic or like fine art eye. So if you tell someone to paint a wall and it's a beige wall, they may just use beige paint to paint that wall, right? Whereas a person with a little bit more color theory or a fine art background instead would use lots of different colors to then illustrate that that's a beige wall. Right? So it's more of understanding, and this is what we were doing today, right? Obviously right now I'm only applying one color on top of this blue, so, you know, not the best example. But previously, you know, this was painted a very dull purple, then I used a skin tone to highlight the purple, and then we just, boom, glazed on top of everything, right, to give it this blue look. That is a lot different than me just painting something blue and applying a wash. So little things like that are sort of what we try and impart in the classes whenever they're happening. The classes are demos. They're not paint-alongs or anything like that. Even the paint-alongs that happen at the plus tier aren't like, you know, I'm not sitting and waiting for people to catch up or anything like that. That's more of like your challenge to overcome if you're trying to really do it. Of course, any class that we do, any video that is made, whatever, is available permanently afterwards, as many people are not able to catch things live as they happen. I mean, that's just life. That's how it is. But then what they do is they come back later, they do the videos, and then they post and get feedback in the private Facebook group that we sort of manage everything out of. So, and I've been seeing people post from the last class we did, and then I know some other people have been working on older videos as well. So that's really, really cool. But this weekend we're doing saturation for emphasis, which this is a sort of decent miniature if I was going to try and illustrate that, only because of how we sort of started it, more muted. But at this point now the contrast is so blown out that it's not really along the same idea. But that class is going to be really cool. It's going to be, instead of doing lighting to emphasize certain parts of a miniature, it'll be using saturation in your tones in order to illustrate it, which a lot of people don't necessarily consider when they're painting. It's sort of like an afterthought. Sometimes you may stumble into it sort of just by accident, like, oh, well, if I make this like a greener green rather than making it brighter, it'll stand out or look more like a highlight. But typically speaking, people don't really consider those things whenever they're working. So, but I think that'll be a really good class. The miniature is really badass. It's the Bufo, right? Or no, Talaran. Talaran? I don't know. It's the big gator warrior holding an axe that was released in August. Bones Black. Really, really cool from the Bones 4 Kickstarter. Bones 5, of course, dropping October 1st. As far as we know, still no changes to that. So we'll see what they've got in store for us this year. All the preview minis that were at ReaperCon were absolutely amazing. So, I mean, they're taking things in such a different direction now. It's like, I love it. And they're not like different, but they're still pretty good. I should say, not still pretty good. They're still in the same vein of Reaper sculpts in general, of being more artistic and like, you know, up to the sculptor's flavor. But they're sort of really pushing in that direction, which is cool. All right, so let's back this out. So, I mean, I think we've done a decent job today. I mean, I could be crazy, but I think this looks good, right? Maybe? Let me minimize that. Yeah, I'm happy with these colors. I think these colors look really nice. Again, I could probably go back on top with another skin tone or anything like that. But it just depends. I don't know. We'll see where we want to take it. But anyway, that will be it for today. Thanks so much for hanging out. I got to get back to work, as always, and I need to take some medicine because I feel like a dead body. So, hope you guys are all having a good week. You probably won't see me ever again the rest of this week if I'm actually getting work done, which I'm praying I can actually do. But beyond that, again, we have the class this weekend. I've got private coaching sessions like every night this week, which was the dumbest thing I could have ever done in my entire life, but you know, we're gonna get it done. And then next week, hopefully, we'll be working on some new cool stuff as well. Again, this miniature is a Eclipse Sisterhood mini. I believe it's a something whisper, like a night whisper, death whisper. I don't know, something cool. But she is from the Eclipse Sisterhood faction, and you can check that stuff out, dgsgames.com. So that'll be it for today. Arthur says hello, goodbye. He is so asleep. Let me see if we can rotate him like a fat pizza. Look at this guy. Oh, buddy, he's so tired. He says, leave me alone, dude. I'm just trying to be a cat, dude. He's hot. I need to move him. But anyway, that's all. I will see you guys later. Take it easy peasy. You might see me tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what's going on.